Hey, what's up, YouTube? Luke Deutschlander here with another video. Today, I have Kish with us. He's a fellow phone flipper. His YouTube channel is Kish Vlogs. Make sure you guys go and subscribe to him also if you guys enjoy this video. Today, we're going to talk about why phone flipping is an awesome business to start for yourself in 2019. It's definitely not dead. Myself, I personally sell on eBay and PayPal quite a bit. I do a lot of direct sales. Kish here mostly sells on Macari and other platforms. He also sells local. So we're just going to kind of give you guys our opinions on kind of the outlook for 2019 and kind of the pros and cons of the phone flipping business, the industry, and just why it's an awesome, awesome business to, basically start in 2019. I mean, there's no better time to start than now, of course, but just kind of, thinking about 2018, it's kind of over, but this is really something you should consider for, 2019, or if you want to get started with it, coming to a close here in 2018. One of the first things that I wanted to talk about is people out there don't really seem to understand what it costs to start an actual business. And I kind of would like to ask you, Kish, like, in your opinion, how much does it cost to actually start a real business, like a physical business with a physical location? Because I think a lot of people out there, when they invest in a course online or start a home business, they don't really understand how cheap it is to start a phone flipping business compared to what it costs to start a real business.
I mean, yeah. So obviously, like, to be totally honest with you, Luke, it really, like, I've seen people start with $60. Seen people come to me and say, yeah, I have 2K. How do I spend it? So it works on both spectrums. Obviously, the more money you have, the quicker you can get into it, because the more phones you buy, obviously, the more potential profit you can make. But I mean, for me, I work out of my home, as like 99% of the phone flippers out there. Some people have stores, but especially in the beginning, that's not a realistic thing. That's something you build up to. But I mean, the cost to get in phone flipping is pretty much just the value of the first phone you want to buy. So the people that come to me saying, I want to buy, like, I have $100 to work with, I'm like, okay, great. But a lot of them will come to me acting like they're worried or something like that. And I tell them, go out and buy an iPhone 6 for $60. Go flip it for 120. Buy a 6 Plus for 120, flip it for 200, and then you can kind of see how that scales there. So whether you have $20, whether you have $1,000, you really don't need much. I mean, the only like, you can get marketing materials like business cards and stuff like that. That costs like $10, $15. I mean, you should, obviously, we want to have legal protection. So for me, and I'm sure Luke has one as well, I have an LLC, and you just filed that through your state. Like, I think it cost me $50 or something like that. You can go to the online ones, but they cost super expensive. But mine was like $50 to file an LLC. You get your free tax number if you go do it yourself online. It takes like 5 minutes. So as you guys can see, it really doesn't. There really isn't a lot you need to put into phone flipping. It's pretty much something you can start the day you learned. I mean, I watched one YouTube video literally about a year, pretty much exactly a year from today we're filming this video. I watched one video on it, put up a Craigslist ad, literally 15, 20 minutes later, I went and bought my first phone. So like, as long as you learn the basic foundation and you have a little bit of money, obviously you want to have a budget for it, but I'd say having $100 is perfectly fine. The more, the better, but build yourself up, work up to your numbers, and set your own goals. So
Exactly. Yeah. So, and what I was getting at, so what Kish basically just said, I mean, it's 100% true. I've been phone flipping for like 6 years now, and you can literally start with 50 to $100. Like he said, you can go buy an iPhone 6, flip it, for $50 profit, then do it again on another phone. And eventually, as you keep profiting successfully, you're going to have enough money to buy, say, 2 iPhone X's at the same time, and then you're going to make $200 a phone. And it's basically just a big snowball effect. But what I was getting at by, kind of the question is, Kish definitely covered phone flipping. It's super cheap to get started. But what people don't understand, like when they buy an online course or, just starting the business off of free videos, is you guys realize that most businesses out there actually cost around $5,000 to start. So like, this is like one of the best businesses that you can start. You don't have to you don't have to necessarily register an LLC right away. So you literally don't even have any startup costs besides the fact of a little bit of time, a laptop, internet, and then posting that on Craigslist or OfferUp or LetGo. But what I'm trying to get at, why phone flipping is probably the best business to start in 2019, and then after you learn phone flipping, you sell on eBay, Macari, wherever it is you choose to sell, you're not going to lose money the first year. I know several business owners that, have been in business for like 15 to 20 years. And these business owners long, long ago started their business and they had around $10,000 in startup costs. And then on top of that, their business didn't even profit the first year. So for people out there to be able to start a home business such as phone flipping, then you guys can actually turn a profit in less than the first year. Not to mention most people turn a profit in less than a month or two. This is an insane opportunity to jump on, while it's hot. And I think phone flipping is going to kind of be here for the long run. At least that's my opinion, but it's literally the cheapest business that I have found for the startup cost based on what you can make with it. In my opinion, I think phone flipping is kind of here for the long run. I don't think it's going to die in 2018. I don't think it's going to die in 2019. I really think it's going to be here for the long run, just because more and more smartphones are being made every day. More and more people buy smartphones every day. And on top of that, smartphones are getting everly expensive. So, I mean, they're just going to continue to get more and more expensive. I'm buying the iPhone XS tomorrow. It's going to set me back like $1,000. So, yeah, not going to be pretty, if somebody cracks their screen on that. What's your opinion, Kish, on, basically smartphone flipping and all that? Like, is it here to stay? Is it going to go? Or what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, I get that question a lot when I live stream on my channel, and it's like people are like, is it going to stick around? And honestly, yeah, it's going to stick around, and maybe this isn't like smartphones might turn into a watch or this little earpiece, but what me and Luke kind of preach and we do ourselves is we're basically just in the buying and selling game. Yeah, we might specifically buy and sell iPhones and stuff like that, but I mean, you can't necessarily say that phone flipping is going to be around for 100 years, whatever it may be, but we're in the buying and selling game. So if you learn this skill set now, you can go ahead and go and flip anything. I mean, people flip Apple Watches, people flip iPads. So maybe the idea of a smartphone won't be around for the next 10 years. It'll be like this little thing that we can't even imagine, but I mean, it's still something we can flip. The idea, like, it's the idea of like Gary Vee. It's kind of like the flip challenge that he always does. Like, it doesn't matter if it's iPhones or like, what do they call, like, I don't know, like anything you can kind of think of that's in your household, you can flip it. It's the same idea with phone flipping. And obviously there's specific things you need to learn. And there's obviously different scams out there that we help teach and everything like that. But phone flipping will be around. I mean, there really isn't a better time to get in it. Like, new phones are going to come out every year, and a lot of people have come to me recently saying, hey, is it going to ruin the market with these new phones? No, this happens every year with new phones. And so just recognize that phone flipping is here to stay. Don't ever get the mentality. Don't let anybody else say that they don't want you, and like it's not going to be good, because anybody saying that just probably means they don't want the competition. So that just means they're scared of you. So definitely just go out there and do it. That's probably the biggest advice I could give. So.
Awesome. Yeah. I couldn't more than agree. I mean, if 10 years from now, we're not using phones, I don't know, maybe we'll be using phone pens. I have no idea. I mean, maybe they're going to make the phone bigger, smaller, but once you learn to phone flip, like you said, you can flip anything. Like, some of the stuff that I've done, and this was actually before I started flipping phones. One of the first things that I flipped was a car. I flipped a 1999 Corvette I purchased for about $7,500, and I ended up flipping it for $10,500. And what I realized is in flipping, a lot of it isn't just necessarily, what you have to flip, it's how you flip it. Like, make sure you take the best pictures when you're flipping the car. Make sure you set it at a competitive price. Make sure you buy it at the right price. But another thing is, too, when you're flipping, it's not always about the best price. Sometimes it just depends on the buyer. Like, I've bought brand new furniture from like wholesale furniture outlets. It's Ashley branded furniture. I'm sure a lot of people out there know the name Ashley Furniture. They're everywhere. And what I'm getting at here is, so I'll buy something from one of these wholesale furniture outlets. I'll pay like, say, $250 or $300 for a recliner. Now, Ashley's selling that same recliner for like $600. I've had the recliner sometimes for like a year, and then I just decide I want to switch it out. I put it up for sale on Craigslist for $400. It's Ashley. It's like mint. And people will literally just message and say, yeah, I want to buy that, because they don't know about, these companies out there that sell the same brand. But people, when they walk into a furniture outlet like that, like Ashley, they're literally just paying for the brand. But there's other people out there that don't advertise as much that sell the same thing. So it really, phone flipping and flipping in general is always going to be alive. There's always a market for something. It's just your target audience. The reason why I love phone flipping is because, like I said earlier, phones are ever getting more expensive, and there are more and more people every day buying smartphones. So literally the smartphone and electronic industry, these two industries are literally probably the biggest flipping industry, in my opinion, in, you know, all of the flipping that you can think of. I mean, there's no other industry, I don't think, that is growing as fast as technology. Technology is ever growing, and smartphones and electronics obviously run hand in hand with the technology industry. And I really just think that getting into phone flipping is, you know, probably the best thing you can do for yourself in 2019. Lowest return, lowest investment cost, biggest return on your investment. And not to mention, you know, when it comes to flipping things and sales, a lot of it is mindset too. And once you kind of learn that mindset, like Kish was saying, you can literally flip just about, you know, everything. So it's just kind of crazy to think about. Like he said, he just started doing this a year ago, and I mean, look where he's at. You said you do like $15,000 a month or something, Kish?
Yeah, so right now, obviously, I've been scaling it throughout the past year. But I mean, if a college kid like me that was doing this out of my dorm room senior year could go from $100 a month to $15,000 a month in sales, like it really is possible for anybody. And I obviously, like, with people like me and Luke out there in the industry now, especially with our YouTubes and having the course where we teach a lot of valuable knowledge, it's so much faster to get to that point. So like, I mean, me and Luke, I know Luke can testify this with his course students as well. These guys, like the people that are willing to invest in knowledge too, are literally getting the same results within a month or two time. It could be that fast because all it is learning that basic foundation. Obviously you get better with it over time, but once you learn that basic couple pieces of foundation knowledge, you grow there. And that, I mean, you can just go out and scale it. I mean, there really is no cap on it. The only cap is how much you're willing to spend and how much money you have in your quote unquote phone flipping budget. But there really is no cap to it. And another point I want to make is that, like, if you're most people come to us, and I know Luke can testify this too, saying like, hey, I want to make a couple $100s a month. Phone flipping is such a great thing because, one, I mean, there is scams out there, but obviously we teach there's only a certain amount. So I always tell people, if you make it, obviously you're only going to make that mistake once. But overall, I mean, pretty much everybody's in the green with phone flipping, which is pretty cool. But if you're looking to pay your electricity bill for the month, that could literally be one phone. If you're looking to get your food budget for the month, that could literally be two or three phones. If you make like $200, $300, $400 profit, sometimes you can make on a single phone. If you get lucky enough, like that can pay for so much. And a lot of people come to us having a part-time job, and not like very few of us do this full time, and that's totally understandable. That's how we market what we do. So like, it's really like, again, for anybody, whether like I have guys that are doing it that are like 12, 13, 14 years old out in middle school and high school. And then there's guys doing it that are retired, just looking for money to travel with their wives for till they die. So like, it's a really versatile industry. And like, you can start making a lot of money literally within the first week or two. So, and again, you like, what other industry can you make maybe $1,000 a week in a period of maybe 2-3 weeks of learning? There really isn't anything out there. Like, people always say fast cash isn't a thing, but fast cash is a thing with phone flipping. Like, it sounds cheesy, but like me and Luke are here to testify, and we can show you the results. So pretty cool industry to get into.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, like it's not a scheme, but if there ever was a get rich quick scheme, phone flipping.
Yeah.
You can make
100%.
really quick money. So that being said, guys, I think, you know, just hearing from me and then hearing from Kish, obviously phone flipping is not dead. It's not going away in 2018, not 2019, and not 2020. The next quick thing that I wanted us to talk about before we wrap up here, we wanted to kind of talk about just kind of the pros and cons, you know, on where to sell your phones. So I wanted to basically share just some pros and cons about selling on eBay. I'll just kind of give you guys a quick rundown. If you guys are kind of new to phone flipping, you're thinking on, you know, starting up in phone flipping, eBay is a great platform to do that on. However, there's a couple things that you guys kind of want to watch out on. And then I'm going to let Kish talk about where he sells and some of the pros and cons that he's been experiencing. So basically, you know, for those of you guys that have been watching my channel, I do around $30,000 a month, sometimes more, depending on, you know, if I'm just in my office that month and I'm not off doing other projects. I got a lot of other stuff going on. However, that being said, eBay is an awesome platform. You know, I've sold on eBay. I've done $30,000 a month on eBay. I've done $50,000 in a month between eBay and then selling to direct sellers on PayPal. Now, the thing that I love about eBay especially for newer phone flippers, is it's a really friendly platform to use. I mean, it's simple. You guys can jump on eBay, make an account, make a PayPal, and you know, you can kind of figure out how to list your item just by watching some free videos or just by kind of, you know, navigating through eBay yourself if you're kind of a techie person, and you list your phone for sale and it sells. Now, eBay, you know, some of the pros to it is your phones sell really fast. The fees aren't that bad. It's like 10%, so not a big deal to get your phone in front of, you know, a lot of, you know, people who potentially want to buy your phone. Not to mention with all these, you know, like my course, his course, people doing free videos on phone flipping, and then all the people out there doing videos on eBay, there are more and more people, you know, basically logging on or, you know, going to ebay.com every day. So you're potentially listing your phone on eBay. I mean, you're getting an unlimited audience that, you know, is continuing to grow bigger. So it's an awesome platform to basically advertise your phone and get it sold fast. I've listed some phones that have literally sold within like 10 minutes. I mean, that sounds crazy, but literally 10 minutes. So, you know, your phone sells, you get paid. So that's how fast you can flip a phone on eBay. You know, some of the things to watch out for on eBay is when you're selling phones, it is a high risk industry, as in, you know, sometimes people will make like a brand new account and they'll have like one feedback and they speak, you know, like a different language, or they speak very poor English. They'll message you and say, hey, I love your phone. Can you please send it to Malaysia? Here's the address. Do not send phones or Malaysia. Please don't send phones, guys, to China, or people message you on eBay trying to get you to send phones to a different address. So that's kind of the only con, I guess, in my opinion, on eBay. Like the real con is there are people out there that are literally just preying on people selling phones, trying to, you know, scam you, get you to send your phone to a different address, get you to send your phone before they pay. And then the other thing that I dislike about eBay is the fact that the eBay return system is a little bit difficult. However, changes that are coming in 2019, and I think they might even be in effect as of 2018, eBay did a big revamp on their buyer and seller returns. In the past, eBay had this really bad habit of always siding with the buyer, but eBay has put in some new policies where they're looking into things. They're like allowing people to submit more detailed photos or videos, like evidence showing that, you know, you physically ship the phone and the person's just trying to scam you. And that is a really good thing, because this also deters all those scammers out there that have been trying to target people and rip them off. So eBay is actually becoming one of the better platforms out there to buy and sell your phones. You know, like I said, biggest pro, you can sell your phone in minutes, low fees, and you get a lot of traffic to the items that you're listing. And then some of the cons are basically just people trying to scam you, and then people trying to pull return scams. Just, you know, kind of two things to look out for. But eBay is a great place to sell, you know, overall, especially as a newer, you know, buyer. Just, you know, make sure you guys are careful out there on eBay and do a little reading up, and you guys will make some easy profits selling your phones on eBay. Kish, you sell on Macari. Do you want to give us a little overview on that and kind of like what your pros and cons are and what you think of Macari so far?
Yeah, so Macari's actually, I mean, most of you probably know about eBay. Macari's actually one of the newest platforms just for like the buying and selling game. I know most of you have probably heard of like apps like OfferUp and LetGo, but so Macari basically takes those apps but makes them pretty much all online. Nothing's really in person. So it's kind of like a miniature version of eBay, but I mean, it's exponentially growing. So definitely like go with what Luke said, start on eBay and stuff like that. But it's always like one thing I always tell people is it's great to have multiple platforms in case one goes bad. It's like the idea of having multiple incomes. If one goes bad, you still have the other. You're still building up your reviews on there. So again, Macari is basically like eBay, but it's pretty much only within the US. eBay can tap into pretty much worldwide audiences. So Macari is a great platform. I really like it. The buyer and seller like kind of thing Luke was talking about in terms of them having issues on eBay with like fraud and stuff like that, people saying they didn't ship the right phone. Macari's a little bit better than that just because they're newer to the game. They've seen mistakes that eBay's making, and obviously they're fixing that, which is huge. Like I just want to say that like that's a biggest thing. Like for me, that was a big problem on eBay in the past for me, is with those buyer and seller returns, like them always siding with the buyer. But Macari's great, again, for pretty much anybody, but especially for the people in the beginning. One, the returns are really good because it basically works is that once I sell a phone on Macari, I ship it out to them, and they basically have 3 days to rate me. Either they have those 3 days, and in those 3 days, they can either rate me whatever, or they can file a return. But once that transaction's complete, once they rate me, there literally is no return on any item that you saw on there. Obviously, like we're doing legit things, like we're selling the right phones, we're checking them properly. And if you do that, you won't get returns. But basically, the people that are on Macari are a little bit more of a like generic audience, not too many people that do like huge numbers with electronics, but mainly just like the average consumer, kind of like offer up and let go, which is kind of nice. But with that said, a downside of that is prices do go. They are you can't sell as high as you would on eBay a lot of the time, because sometimes the eBay buyers are sending them international and stuff like that, and they can pay higher for them. But Mercari, again, it's kind of like selling locally, but you also get that other 10%. It also does 10% fees like eBay does. But one super good thing about Mercari is eBay has PayPal with it, and that takes an extra couple percent. Do you know the exact percent that PayPal takes, Luke?
Yeah, PayPal takes 2.9% of each of your transactions plus 30 cents per transaction.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, so you pretty much avoid all of that. They have their own payment system, so everything goes through Mercari. And so how you basically get paid on Mercari is once they buy the item, that money goes into the Mercari system. Once they rate you, it basically gets released to you, and then you just transfer it right to the bank account. One negative is I know a lot of you like to work with PayPal. Mercari doesn't go through them at all. So you basically, any money that you have in Mercari gets transferred. You have to transfer to like your exact bank account through routing number and account number. So again, it has its positives, it has its negatives, but it's a great platform. If I were to recommend anything, don't go with one or the other. Like, build up your review base on both of them, because you want to have as many platforms to sell on as possible. Build up your review base, and you should be good from there. So, and another thing about Mercari I like too, I forgot to mention, is there's a better chance if you're looking to like buy broken phones and fix them, or even just buy phones and flip them. You have a lot better chance because it is a smaller audience than eBay, exponentially smaller. It's easier. I know a couple people in my course that actually go on there and buy. Usually they get sold within a couple minutes, but if you're quick enough, you can go ahead and buy cheap phones on there. They'll ship them to you, and you can go flip them however you feel, whatever platform you want on. So it's a great platform, and it's something I'm going to be selling on for a long time too. So
awesome. Yeah, well, thanks. Yeah, for sharing that. So there you guys have it. eBay, awesome platform to sell on. Mercari, awesome platform to sell on. There's pros and cons to both. One thing I did want to mention, speaking, we were talking about returns, that is awesome that Mercari is kind of acknowledging some of eBay's faults. And eBay has definitely gotten better on that, agreeing with all the buyers instead of the sellers. But one thing I do want to acknowledge is, on eBay, instead of pushing your return, to the escalations team and making a big case out of it, if you guys have a very small phone flip return, sometimes it's best just to honor the return, just let the person return it. If the person actually returns the phone and there's nothing in the box or something really bad like that, then it's worth calling eBay. But if somebody just wants to return the phone because they're not happy, honor the return, because then, it shows you that you're willing to work with people. And on top of that, if you just say yes to a return, sometimes people will actually be honorable themselves. But if you try fighting someone on a return and they literally just want to return it, they weren't going to scam you. Sometimes people, kind of have deviant thinking, and they will then be like, oh, well, this guy won't do a return, so I'm going to send him back an empty box. Like, people, it's kind of like basically an eye for an eye. Sometimes that's how people think. It's not the right way to think, but just kind of something, to keep in mind when you're selling eBay. Like I said, it's best just to accept the returns. It's a cost of business sometimes for being able to sell in front of a big audience. But that being said, guys, Mercari, eBay, awesome platforms to sell on. Like Kish said here, he's been selling on Mercari, does around 15 grand a month. I sell on eBay direct sellers, 30, 40K a month. And I really do not believe phone flipping is going anywhere. It's an awesome business to, invest in yourself, get started in 2018. It's going to be here for 2019, something to consider after you get taxes back. You want to buy a course, you want to invest in a little office, a laptop, or whatever you want to do. It's a super awesome business to, make a passive $500 to $1,000 a month profit or more. You can do as much as you want in this business. So super awesome. Thanks, Kish, for, coming out.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. So those of you guys, that started the video here and have stayed with us all the way to the end, like I said, make sure you guys go like and subscribe to Kish's channel. It's called Kish Vlogs. And if you guys like my videos, make sure you guys hit that like, share, and subscribe button down below. And I will see you guys in my next video.